Welcome forward here. Today's adventure is the Intenders Handbook, the Intenders of the Highest Good, a guide to intention process, the conscious community brought to you by Tony Burrows. This is the Highest Lighthouse publication there. This is the 7th printing from March 2010. Since the beginning of humankind, we have come together in circles. We've sat around campfires, steaming rocks, food, drummers, and displays of entertainment. Even the meeting of wise elders were often held in circles. In a circle, everyone can easily see and hear everyone else. The circle puts everyone at ease, on an equal standing. And it allows each person to freely contribute to the whole group. We start out with our 4 of us sitting around a table on the patio once a week. We'd go around the circle and each of us would say our gratitudes and then our intentions for the things that we desired to manifest in our lives. Pretty soon we were getting pretty phenomenal results. A bunch of our friends had joined us, and the feeling of being a part of a family had awakened in us all. As the group got larger and larger, we began listening to each other even more closely. We became cheerleaders for each other, really being happy for someone else when their intentions came to life. We also discovered a lot of joy in keeping a watchful eye out for those things that others in the circle have intended to manifest. Bartering, trading, and sharing became commonplace, and we felt a new strength now that we had become part of a network where everyone was helping everyone else. The intention process was working, and our lives changed quickly for the better. Quote from Aaron Christensen. I always had a knack for working on computers. When my friends would raise their hands in the air and threaten to bash their computers, I would offer to fix it for them. I'd been teaching part-time in the evening, but I really wanted to be working full-time on fixing computers. I also had a desire to be able to make a low-cost second-hand or rebuilt computers available to the people in the area. The only problem was I was getting parts. I wasn't in the big city where parts were easy to find. About that time, I happened to go to an Intenders circle. That night, I made an intention to leave my teaching position and somehow, some way, start my own business fixing and rebuilding computers. 4 days later, a friend of mine told me about a place where I could put in a bid and a whole container load of good computer parts, CPUs and keyboards, printers, everything included, and the monitors too. I got the bid, and within 2 weeks, I rented a wonderful warehouse in town and stacked it full of all kinds of computer equipment. Everything I intended to have was right there at my fingertips. And before I knew it, people were lined up at my door needing help with their computers. And when I'd helped them, I couldn't resist also telling them about the Intenders. End of quote. From Aaron Christensen. The following quote is from Wade Cameron. There really is a power in Intenders circle. My car threw a rod last summer when I was in between jobs. I had made an intention to have another car come to me free, since I didn't have any extra money at the time. 4 days later, my son called me up, and before I could say anything, asked if I knew someone who wanted a car, a nice older but sporty Volkswagen. He said that it was taking up too much space beside his carport, but that it ran great, and it was just first come, first serve. And within an hour, I caught a ride to his place, started up the car, and drove it away. It felt like Christmas in July. End of quote from Wade Cameron. Five easy steps. Test your intention process and be open. Get your first win and acknowledge that it works by expressing your gratitude. Develop your trust by practicing and getting more wins. Notice that your trust turns into a knowing that you can manifest anything you desire. Having fun, staying filled with gratitude, and always remembering the highest good. Gratitude is what makes the intention process work. It's the acknowledgement that the intentions we've made in the past have come true. When we express our gratitude, we're saying, thank you. Thank you to the universe for bringing us the things we've asked for. We're saying that we recognize that a connection exists between ourselves and the universe, that we appreciate this connection, and we know that we can call on it at any time. There is always a lot of gratitude expressed in our Intenders Circle. In fact, that's what our Intenders Circles are for, to make our intentions and to express our gratitude for their manifestations. When an intender speaks of gratitude, it shows everyone in the circle that the laws of manifestation work. It gives those who carry doubt and skepticism a newfound confidence. It heightens their level of trust when they see their fellow intenders winning. And that's how it starts. We make an intention, and soon, when it has manifested, we feel like we've gotten a win, and we say so by stating our gratitude. The intention process has come full circle. It started out with our intention, and it ended with a statement of gratitude. Once we've seen ourselves and our friends get a quote-unquote win or two, it gets much easier for us all. We put even more trust in the intention process, and then we get more and more wins. And pretty soon, we're all winning all the time. Eventually, we'll look around us and see that the world we're living in is the one we've been intending for ourselves. We will have created everything in our world consciously. When enough of us have done this, others will learn from our example, and we will all begin to walk this earth free and full of gratitude. The following quote from Ron Merriweather reads, "Last spring, during the potluck at an Intenders meeting, a very successful woman was telling us about how she manifested things. She was using money as an example. She said that she was grateful for it both before and after it arrives. That got me thinking. Up until then, money was always a challenge for me. Every time I had a bill would come in the mail, I would get upset right away. I would just start to complain, and I'd walk around muttering and wondering how I was going to go and pay it. But since that meeting, I've started doing something different now. Now I thank the universe when I get a bill in the mail. I think of all the wonderful things that the bill is providing for me and that I'm grateful for them. Needless to say, everything is much better financially for me now. Since I've started being grateful, I've received more money than I could ever had before. It just keeps flowing in like water from the kitchen faucet. Sometimes I'm even pleasantly surprised where it comes from." End of quote from Ron Merriweather.